time this girl tried to fight me at the mall for no reason. I was a freshman in high school at the time, and I went to the mall with my boyfriend and my friend. The mall that we were at has 2 levels. We were on the upper level. And just to paint a picture in your head, there's a balcony on top so you could see the lower level, but there's also 2 sides. So like a walkway on one side, a gap where you could see the lower level, and then another side. So we were on one side sitting on a couch, and the girl that wanted to fight me was my ex-boyfriend's cousin's friend. We always had beef for no reason, and it was never on my part either. She always hated me and always wanted to start stuff with me. So while we were sitting on the couch, I see her walking on the opposite side of the balcony, and we make eye contact. And she starts screaming, "Oh, look who it is! It's my best friend! Oh, look!" And immediately I was like, oh my god, great, we're gonna have to deal with this. I thought it was gonna end there. We ignored her so that she would go away. But nope, she walks on the other side of the balcony and comes up to us. She says to my boyfriend at the time, "Do you realize you're dating a..." Can't say it.
Story of the time a girl tried to fight me in the mall for no reason. Part 2. So she walks up to me and my ex-boyfriend and she says to him, "Do you realize you're dating a..." Can't say that. And my ex-boyfriend just looked at me and I didn't know what to say. Then the girl started getting really nasty and getting closer to my face. The only comeback I could think of is ghetto life. So I just kept saying that and it got her more and more mad. Until eventually she said she wanted to fight me. So she's over here causing a scene in the mall. And my friend started to not have it. Once the girl starts getting closer and closer to me, kind of like jerking back and forth, being like, "What you gonna do? What you gonna do?" My friend was like, "Okay, if you wanna fight somebody, maybe you should fight somebody your own age." Because my friend was actually over 18 and the girl was 17. And the girl was not expecting that. So the girl was like, "Okay, I'll fight you too." She was like, "I could take both of you easy." And I was like, "Bro, I don't wanna fight you." I was like, "You hate me for no reason and you're starting a problem over what? Because you think I'm a skunk? Like, leave me alone." And the girl was like, "You're lucky we're in the mall. And you're lucky my mom said I can't get arrested again." Then we left.
Story of the time my childhood was ruined for the first time. So basically the house that I lived in my entire life had a giant tree outside in the front yard. I called it my climbing tree. I would climb that tree and hug it and literally talk to it as if it was a person. This is gonna sound really corny, but every time that I got into problems with my neighbor, if you've been here for a while, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Anytime I would have problems with my family, at school, anything in general, I would climb the climbing tree and I would sit on one of its branches and I would just talk to it, you know? I would be like, "You're the only person here for me." And it was a tree. Now that I'm telling this story, I realize how sad it is. Then one bright sunny afternoon, I get home from school. What do I see outside? The landscapers. What do I see on the side of the road? My climbing tree!
Story of the time my friend snuck out of her house to see a boy and I had to cover for her in front of her parents. So this was our freshman year of high school, which made us at that time 14. So my friend, we'll call her Kate, she was talking to this boy and she would always tell me how she snuck out of her house to see him at night, to have relations of sorts. One weekend she asked me to sleep over. She told me that she was planning on seeing him. And I was okay with it. I just didn't want to be in the awkward position of if she got caught. At the time, I don't know why I didn't see a problem with this. Probably because we were kids. But the guy that she was seeing was 23. So anyway, we go in her basement. She tells her parents that we were gonna watch a movie and then probably go to bed. So her parents go to sleep and we hung out for a few hours until she was ready to go out. She had a giant window in her basement that she would sneak out of. Before she left, she told me to go up to her room to watch her get into his car. She told me that if her parents wake up, tell them that she's taking pictures of trees. Mind you, this is like 2 in the morning. So I'm watching through the window and as she gets to the street, a huge white van pulls up, which concerned me. Story of the time I slept over my friend's house and she snuck out in the middle of the night to see a boy. Part 2. So I'm upstairs in her room looking at her window to make sure that she gets to his car. And a white van pulls up. Keep in mind, she told me that she's seen this guy before. So she starts running to the van. And I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of freaked out. So I started texting and calling her, and she wasn't answering the phone. And like I said, she told me that if her parents were to come in the room, to tell them that she was outside taking pictures of the trees. She left around 2 a.m. and I didn't get a text or a call back from her for hours. So I started contemplating telling her parents. I heard walking around the house around 6 a.m. So I turned off her light and laid in her bed and acted like I was sleeping. I also put pillows next to me to make it look like there was 2 of us in the bed. Her mom ended up coming in the room, but didn't say anything, and I was too nervous to tell her. So her mom goes back in the room, and around 7 o'clock, she finally gets back. She said she wasn't looking at her phone, cause they were, you know, getting down for 5 hours. And she said she had a really great time. Turns out the white van was his work van.
Girls, tell me about a time when your quick thinking probably saved your life. I'll go first. 2 years ago, I was walking my dog at the park and a man approached me and asked me to take a picture of her. And I said yes, because why not? It's a picture of the dog. So he starts taking a picture of my dog, and realize that he was like holding her collar. And then hey, my address is on that collar. He's not taking a picture of my dog, he's taking a picture of my address. So I told him that I actually didn't feel comfortable with having a picture of my dog, and I asked him to delete it. So he deletes it and then like starts walking really, really fast. And I was like, excuse me, sir, no, could you also go into your deleted album and delete it from there? And he goes, I don't have a deleted album. And I was like, you have an iPhone, everybody has a deleted album, could you please delete the picture? And he was like, sorry, I don't have a deleted album, and like keeps walking away. And keep in mind, this is like 2 in the afternoon in a park, like there's other people around. So now I'm like chasing after him, and I'm telling him, sir, I know you have the album, I will show you where the album is. Can you please go onto your phone so that we can delete the picture? Oh, part two, sorry for the delay. So I'm still chasing after him. People at the park are like starting to look at us now because I'm chasing after him and I'm telling him to stop walking. And so he stops and I tell him again to take a photo of the deleted album, and he goes, I don't have a deleted album. And I was like, yes you do. Everybody does. It'll take 10 seconds. And he goes, fine. And he goes in his phone. Listen for a second. He goes, there. It's gone. And I was like, could I see the deleted album just to make sure it's gone? And he goes, no, I can't. And I was like, tell him to look at your phone. I just want to see the album just to make sure the picture is gone. That's it. And he goes, no, you're not going to look at my phone. And I was like, sir, I'm not going to stop and I'm not going to leave until you show me the album, so please just show me the album so we can be done with this. So he shows me the album, the picture was still there, so I deleted it from my address. What if I hadn't noticed that he took a picture of my address? And what if I went home that day and, that night when I took my dog out to pee, he was outside waiting for me? I mean,
Story time about how I caught my boyfriend cheating on me and I got him arrested. Disclaimer, this is not my story time. My boyfriend and I have only been together for 2 months. I'm gonna call him Rex. We live in a pretty small town and everybody knows that Rex is a player. He asked me out and I said yes because I always had a crush on him. After a few dates, he asked me to be his girlfriend. I said yes under the condition that he was totally monogamous. And he said of course. A few weeks into the relationship, I noticed that he was always hiding his phone from me. And whenever he would put his phone on a table, he would flip the screen side down. Of course, this had me on high alert. One night we went out with friends and I made sure that he got super drunk. I took advantage and went through all of his Instagram DMs. And of course he had been talking to about 30 girls. And I knew some of these girls and they knew that we were together. He had even set up a date with one of the girls for the following day at a bar. And you better believe that I was gonna catch him red-handed. I show up to the bar and I don't see them. I go back to the parking lot and there he is in his car making out with this girl. I knock on the window. Part 2 is up. Boyfriend is in his car making out with another girl. I caught them red-handed. Disclaimer, this is not my story time. My boyfriend Rex quickly puts on his shirt, and the other girl puts on her shirt too. I try to open the door, but it's locked. And to my surprise, my boyfriend gets mad at me and asks me what I'm doing there. So of course I say to him, what are you doing here? That's when he finally gets out of the car, and he tells the other girl to stay in the car. I told him that he had promised to be monogamous. That's when he said that I was crazy and that he had never promised that, and that he had no intention to be serious with me. Then he said that I made that entire conversation up in my head, and then he told me to leave. I was so shocked, I couldn't believe what he had just said to me. The girl gets out of the car and she actually apologizes to me. And she told me that Rex had told her that he was single. Then Rex lunges at her, starts pulling her hair, and pushes her to the ground. Part 3 is up. My boyfriend lunges at the girl that I just caught him cheating on me with. He starts pulling her hair and pushes her to the ground. Disclaimer, this is not my story time. Tried to get him to stop and I pulled his arm. Then he turns around and starts chasing me. I run back into the bar and 2 guys stop him. I called the cops right away and they came and arrested him. Later on that day, he asked me to bail him out and I said no. Everybody knows what he did. The other girl is trying to press charges and my dad wants me to get a restraining order. But I'm still in love with him and I don't want to get him in any more trouble. I even want to take him back, but I know I shouldn't, right?